Welcome back to the podcast. This is Layla Rose, and today we are discussing how to work with Mercury, also named Hermes. So I've been seeing a lot of fear-mongering. I mean, it's the same thing every single year. I don't know why astrologists on social media do that, but a lot of them kind of scare people with, Mercury in retrograde. There's a lot of, I don't know, it's like I've never seen anything positive about Mercury in retrograde. It's always about the trickster type of energy. And it's almost like people get ready in advance for things to fall through. And it's almost like, well, you're manifesting issues and problems if that's how you think, right? So when we have a Mercury in retrograde, in fact, we do have Hermes energy that wants to play and have fun and play tricks, just like the trickster. But there are ways to laugh at it and make sure that it doesn't control and own our lives. And so just to give you guys an example, actually I have two examples, but just this week, since Mercury in retrograde started, I had a few issues with my computer, and then I had this Amazon delivery that said that it was delivered, but it wasn't. These like little glitches, right? Which are incredibly frustrating when it happens. Obviously, there are things that are far worse right now happening in the world, but when these things happen, the thing is, instead of being like, oh, Mercury in retrograde, and start, cursing, instead of that, what I did is I started laughing. I was like imagining myself as if I was like talking to Hermes and Mercury. I was imagining this little, little character that would just like have fun, right? And laugh at me for playing these tricks, and I would laugh with him. And because of that, when you do alchemy quick like that, things would get resolved within a few minutes. So instead of being dragged on and on for like, weeks, because obviously this Mercury in retrograde is going to be for a month. Instead of dragging those issues, when you start laughing with Hermes, then you just kind of cancel it out. And I've also been using the Mercury frequency as well. I listen to it in the morning when I get ready, just to honor Mercury, right? And so this is going to be the main topic today, how to set up an altar when you work with Mercury. Doing planetary magic is something that a lot of corporations do, and I'm talking about the biggest ones, not the small ones, but it's usually hidden from the masses, from the public. First of all, because most people are on a level of consciousness where they wouldn't understand how it works. But there's a lot of planetary magic in our daily lives, and we don't even notice it. Just the days of the week, they are based on the planets. That's just one example. So Mercury is associated with Wednesday. So in French, it's mercredi. So it's a word that's very similar to Mercury. Obviously, you can do an altar on whatever day. Doing an altar on a Friday is better than not at all. But obviously, if you can set it up on a Wednesday, that would be even more perfect, right? Or what you can do is set up the altar prior. So let's say you do it on a Sunday, and then on Wednesday you kind of fresh it up, clean it up, and then light a candle and honor basically your altar once again. So when it comes to the colors of Mercury, orange and gold, actually, you know what? You can think about the luxury designer Hermes, right? It's orange. So this is the color of Hermes. You can light up candles, flowers, whatever you feel called to. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The frequency and the intention is what's most important, right? You don't need to set up like a million, accessories on your altar, as long as it's intentional. Even if you have like a white candle, don't go crazy about, buying, a yellow or orange or gold candle. You can also use the sigil of Mercury, which you can Google. It's really easy to find. You can just draw the sigil of Mercury on a piece of paper, and it's just going to be perfect, right, to invoke Mercury. So Mercury, by the way, is the planet of communication, intellect, learning, mind, and logic. So this is a planet that's really interesting to work with when it comes to business. Obviously, if you're writing something, if you're a teacher or you sell online courses, anything that's related to that is amazing. But even just business in general, right? Because when you have a business, you have to communicate on a day-to-day basis, right? So the number that's associated with Mercury is the number 8. Again, you can draw the 8 number next to the sigil if you feel called to. The zodiac sign that's associated with Mercury is Gemini. And a Gemini is usually connected to the image or the archetype of the twins. So when it comes to Mercury, we hear a lot about the trickster energy, right? So when it comes to Mercury in retrograde, people are freaking out. They're like, oh my God, things are not going to be working, blah, 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 blah. So there's actually 2 energies, and I only hear about the trickster energy, but there's also the opposite of this side. So like I said, because Gemini has a twin energy, you have the trickster, but you also have the truth teller. And this is the one that I don't hear enough people talk about this. But this is the type of energy that can be harnessed as well within your business. And like I said, the easiest way to deal with the trickster type of energy, if it does show up, because obviously I wasn't expecting it in my life in the past few days, and I wasn't focusing on it, but it played a few tricks on me. But instead of being mad or angry or being in fear, I just started laughing, and I would literally say out loud, like, okay, Hermes, that was funny, that's a good one, thank you, but I really need this package. And within a 2 minutes, my package was here, so it wasn't, a big deal. But yeah, that's a fun way to work with Mercury as well. Just a quick, fun fact about Mercury, by the way, this is the fastest moving planet, by the way. So 1 year on Mercury is 88 days, 88 Earth days, right? So it's really quick, which is really fun when it comes to manifestation, especially with your business, because, it's nice to have quick results, especially if you don't want to wait, a decade before your business, blows up. You're going to be able to serve and help a lot more people if you work with Mercury, because it's going to be a fast pace. And obviously, if it gets too fast or if it gets a bit overwhelming, you can also ask Mercury to slow it down, or to just give you a little break, or to give you the time and the energy and the motivation to complete the task that you have to do. All right. What else? Okay, so when it comes to the altar, like I said, there's no right or wrong. You can obviously Google and see okay, which type of crystal, which type of flower. But once again, just using the color in general, using orange and gold. So orange and gold is going to be very beneficial to your altar. So when you have your altar set up, you want to cleanse it basically with some sage, Palo Santo. I like to clap my hands 3 times and I say, Hecas, Hecas, este bebeloy. So this phrase is going to clear all the yucky, negative or lower forms of energy. So at least I know that I'm working directly with Mercury and there's no interferences. And then you're going to be setting your offerings, and you're going to say out loud to Mercury that these are the offerings, all right? While just like with any planet, when you work with planetary magic, you have to give offerings, but you can also ask for what you want. So doing a gratitude list in the present tense. So for example, you can say, thank you, Mercury, for all the business ideas. Thank you for the clear communication. Thank you for the fast results. Thank you for the sales, whatever you're calling into basically your business. Once again, you don't have to use it for a business. You can also use it in your personal life. But I feel like it's just more beneficial in general for a business, especially if you're going through a Mercury in retrograde, and then you want to make sure that your business is not being affected by it. So again, there's no right or wrong way to give your offerings, as long as, there's a good intention. You want to make sure that you're in a calm state, make sure that you're grounded, that you're not needy or desperate, because that just in general with manifestation, you don't want to be in that type of energy. So if you feel called to do a meditation first, or maybe you want to do it first things in the morning before the day affects you, or because that's the main way to do an altar. You want to make sure that you're doing it out of pure intentions, right? All right, so that's it for today's episode. I know this was kind of different from what I usually do, but I want to make more episodes about the different planets and how you can work with them, because this is a type of knowledge, by the way, that used to be hidden for a very long time, especially from women. A few thousand years ago, actually, this type of knowledge was actually taught by women, but then obviously the whole propaganda, brainwashing happened, wars, and this type of knowledge was kind of lost, and the only people really using it were the corporations and the government. So now it is a bit more accessible, but obviously you have to be at a higher state of consciousness to understand and how to apply it. But please let me know in the comments how this works for you, and if you have any questions or comments, suggestions, just let me know, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode. Bye.